Hey there guys, Manish Captain coming over. A pretty important game to review. I think this is an example of what you should do when a game gets like really hectic really fast. You know, I hear a lot of people always asking like, hey Manish Cap, what do I do? You know, I feel like the game, I get these comments a lot. They feel like the game always just like gets out of control, like they can't keep up. What do they do when the game gets moving too fast? They always ask, this is a big question I get. When do I side lane and when do I group? That's a big question that I always get, all the time. So right there, start of the game, we grabbed first spawn the Anivia because they were trying to farm procs of their Yumi's item, the Frostfire, not the Frostfire thing, the Frost Queen thing on the tower. So I don't understand why they're doing that, but we get procs on that. I'm gonna go ahead and fast forward a bit to the lane, but yeah, I get questions like that all the time where people are asking like, hey, you know, Manish Cap, when do I side lane? When do I group? How do I roam? How do I gank? You know, what do I do? Like, what's the actual, like, decisions that I make in order to win the game? Well, I'm going to try and illustrate some of those for you. So right here, we see that the Irelia and the Anivia actually attempted a lane swap. They want to put Anivia into the Singed matchup. It's a lot safer for her than Fizz, and she can just farm safely. We're not going to let that happen. Fizz is up to swap as well because Fizz just doesn't want to lane res Irelia. Bad matchup for him, which is fine. I drop a ward for him up there in the river, which is important. I'm going mid here. I wait in the bush right there until I get level 2 on the minion, because I don't want to walk into the wave versus level 2 Irelia without my fling. So get level 2, dodge her E, go in. I have Darksteel, so I now have the item advantage, which means if he's trading with me, I will most likely come out on top, even though it's Irelia, right? Now, she's playing very, very aggressively into me, which makes me think immediately that Evelynn will be here, and she was. Evelynn flashes the wall there. I kite back, go for the fling on Irelia to make some distance, and then just run away. And I escape the gank, which is good, and Fizz gets to kill top lane, which is awesome as well, because the Anivia's egg was down. So right here, now I'm thinking, well, I got a recall, right? I have to reset the lane. You know, we got good value off that, push the Irelia in. It's actually still kind of okay because Elise flashes for the kill and gets her. I actually thought that she would play that super well, but then sadly she gets caught by the Anivia here and goes down. We got Irelia's flash and her teleport there. I go ahead and grab boots. I had the choice there to grab like Amp Tome as well, but I wanted to get Predator boots as fast as possible because I can tell that this game's going to start like going really fast because, well, people are rotating, people are roaming, we're lane swapping. Look bottom and they're fighting, so right here I go bottom with teleport. Here, mostly, it was a safety teleport just in case my bot lane lost. They won the fight, so I'm going to go ahead and give Ezreal that kill as well. That's really important. If you ever TP bot lane, you want to try and give your AD carry the kills. You can like grab them if it's an accident, your poison last hits, whatever, right? But generally, you want to try and let your AD carry have the kill. So here, I'm popping Predator, running towards mid. And right here, I noticed my Predator is still active as I'm running towards Elise, which I thought was weird, so I'm pinging danger on her. Because I don't know, you know, exactly where Evelynn is, right? So I should say for context, this game was actually played around like 350 LP in a Grandmaster. But yeah, I don't know where Elise is, right? I see her on the map now, and she's fighting my. Sorry, I don't know where Evelynn is. Sorry, I'm gonna make that mistake a lot this game. I didn't know where the Evelynn was, and I saw her now. She's in the river. Unfortunately, they rotated and killed her. My Elise is pretty upset about that, but you know, whatever. We can't like control it. Something that happens. I know that Evelynn is now in the area, so I'm not going to be walking up. I'm just going to be really careful here. Looking towards side lanes, I'm checking if she got double scuttled, which she says she did, and then look over here and check, she did. So I can't roam top for a bit. See a control ward here, going to kill the pink ward. I'm looking at map state right now. I know Anivia is not in top lane, or if she is, she's playing really far back, and there she just showed. This is a very common play that people do in mid lane to try and catch people on the crosses. They'll ward over the wall and try and hit them with abilities. So I'm mentally preparing for that, trying to make sure I don't get hit by the cross. And then just walking back towards mid. I don't really have an interest in trading versus the Irelia, so we're just going to keep farming and then looking for ganks and pushing out and looking for ganks with Predator because we're in mid lane. We have to kind of change the mentality we have in the game because we got swapped into mid lane this game, which is fine. I'd rather be mid versus Irelia than top versus Anivia. So here, I actually noticed something weird. The Scuttle Crab buff is not picking me up whenever I walk past that. They didn't actually have vision of me, so I thought that was on. I walk into this bush and kill the pink ward. Then I see Elisa, or not Elisa, I see Evelynn up here too, in the river. I popped Predator because I thought that my Dolly was going to hit the Yuumi there. It did not, sadly. Then I just walked back through the river. Which I still think this is odd that this is actually not picking me up on the vision. I don't know if that's intentional or not. But yeah, that was a little bit of a bad predator because I thought the W was going to hit, but not that big of a deal. Here we're trying to not let the wave hit the tower if we can, because the tower will usually steal last hits from us. Just doing whatever we can, popping potion, making sure that I'm not too low in case the Evelynn decides to gank. I see Elise top going for a kill. Then there is Evelynn. Pinging danger on the Evelynn, but I actually have to leave because I'm, don't have any potions and I don't know where anyone is besides the Evelynn. And I have a lot of gold too, so looking at their team comp, I'm buying Merc Tread straight up because they have a lot of magic damage and a lot of CC. Usually versus, if you're Singed versus an Anivia, the Anivia by itself is enough to make you have to buy Merc Treads because that Q, the wall into Q into E is just, it's such a horrible combo to get caught with. Anivia has so many good ways to deal with Singed that it makes it really hard to play versus her with that Merc Tread, so Merc Treads this game, which is fine. I'm making sure I'm pinging missing for the Irelia. I don't know where she is, and I want my team to know that it's very dangerous to be extended. There's Irelia, she was looking bottom. I'm thinking to myself right now, like, why is she being so aggro if she's leveled down? And the answer is that it's possible Evelynn was there, so I just go ahead and pop my ultimate. I see Anivia walking down in the ward, so I back off. She actually makes a huge mistake here, and she does not check that bush for the pink. You see that pink ward in the bush? So this is what I do. I ping her, and then I'm going to pop Predator towards her while I'm following her. And Fizz is going to rotate down for the kill as well. Hit my W. Fling her up. Then we just go for the kill here. She flashes, so I ghost in response. I know her egg is down, so I just glide past her for the kill. Okay, here's Evelynn, fling into W, gotta run away. I don't know whether or not Eve is level 6, I didn't check yet. And I don't actually see the number, I didn't look at the number on her. I remember I didn't look at the number next to her name for a bit. I see her ult over the wall here, because, okay, now I know she's level 6, then I'm just gonna go ahead and ping that she ulted me, which is unfortunate, but it is what it is. Yeah, sometimes in the heat of the moment, it's sort of hard to, like, check numbers next to people's names and stuff like that, so that's one thing I probably do need to improve on, but it wasn't really going to save me there, for what it's worth. It just gives me advanced knowledge of what's going on, so bottling is another double kill. I know that Anivia has no flash, because he flashed away from me, which means they're going to go for this. Oh, an unfortunate flash by Fizz there. Walking back towards mid. I'm building towards Rylai's this game because they're all a little bit squishy and slightly ranged. So here, go for the fling. I don't know how the fling was short there. It's sort of odd. My Elise sort of trolls me there, unfortunately. I'm not exactly sure why she did that. But here, I want to see if I can kill her for the kill here. She does actually walk up. Sorry about those video lags, guys. I'm not sure why it's doing that.
You have been slain.
Good little dodge by the Karma. And rip the Anivia, yeah. Anivia is... I personally think sleeper OP. I rarely see Anivia's perform badly. At the same time, she does take a lot of, like, I guess, planning to pull off, but if you're slightly competent, it's not extremely difficult to have that level of planning. Mechanically, she's not super difficult, but she's a very, very hard champion to master. I'll give her that. Right here, Elise ganking bottom. I think Elise realized that going for solo lanes is probably not the play this game. So here goes Elise ganking bottom. I know that I can't really follow in time, so I'm just gonna start pushing mid. Shoving. Fizz is swapping with me because Fizz got Irelia swapped into him, and we don't want to like lane me versus Anivia, right? I can't pressure the Anivia the way that Fizz can pressure Anivia. So it's much better to have Fizz versus her. Right here, I see Irelia walking up for the tower plate, so I'm gonna go ahead and see if I can catch her. She backed off very quickly. That means either she has a ward in the tri-bush, or she's just really good reaction times. Pop the fling here. Good shot done by Fizz. Now I know that Evelynn's dead, so I have to make my next decision based off of that knowledge. Which means, yes, I'm gonna go look for a proxy. Oh, no, we're going for crab. That's fine. If you see the crab is available and your jungler is not there to grab it, just go ahead and grab it. It does take some mana, but you will end up saving, like, lives potentially, because you don't know for sure, like, if your mid lane's gonna need the crab vision or not. It just, like, limits that little area of the jungle for the enemy jungler to walk through. Apparently, I can walk through the bottom one and not get seen, though, so I thought that was interesting. Alright, just walking back to top here. Generally with Singed, you're gonna fall into this sort of cadence, or you're gonna fall into this sort of pattern, being like, push, roam, push, roam, push, roam, and that will apply going into the mid to late game as well. Whereas in the mid to late game, it's a little bit different, where it's gonna be push group, push group, push group, or like, sorry, it's gonna be push group, leave, push group, leave, push group, leave. Here, looking for the fight, I see that my team's in a little bit of trouble. Go ahead and pop my teleport, pop my ghost, pop my ult, because Irelia sees my teleport coming in. The Evelynn tries to move around to flank me, and she gets caught and killed. I try and chase down the Irelia for the kill here, but then she's sped up by the Yuumi, so couldn't do it sadly. We're gonna go ahead and try and leave here. But yeah, the pattern, I see Fizz over here fighting. I know that Evelynn's dead, so I want to go ahead and grab this camp. If I can get more gold away from her, that's even better. The pattern becomes, later in the game, push, group, leave, push, group, leave. And the important part about that is knowing exactly when you should push, up to what point you should push, and when you should group. And I will go into that as this video goes on, because this video illustrates that very well. Fizzing a little bit of aggro there, I'm not super sure what that was about, but Elise is still super tilted, wants to FF15, whatever. Grab my Rylai's, we're gonna go Riftmaker second, because I have 3 Ravenous stacks, so we go Riftmaker here. Irelia went bottom. She's not really CSing that much, she's just kind of looking for the fights. Not well played by the Ezreal here. Gets both of them. Now I'm mid. I have the option to go top, but I want to go mid because mid's, I want to open up mid if I can. Because it's very, very important. If you can get the mid tier 1 versus Anivia, you really need to, because she can stall games really hard. She's like Ziggs in that way, where it's very important for you to try and get the mid tier 1 tower before she gets her mana and her AP and her damage rolling. Just going for some plates here. Now I'm pinging to go for this Rift Herald, and then my Elise actually gets one shot, which is unfortunate. So I pop Predator, pop my ultimate, running up here towards the Evelynn. Grab her and Rylai's. She's almost low at this point. Like, she's not getting away, right? I should have probably given a... Oh, I did actually ended up getting it. The Fizz poison, or dot, out-damaged my poison, sadly. Here I'm picking help on the Herald, because I want my team to get it with me, because I know that it's very important to get the Herald so we can prevent the Anivia from stalling the game out, right? It's super, super important. And even though the Anivia is sort of behind right now, it's not like she's not going to get to the point where she can stall waves, so it's very important to grab this Herald right here. As a top laner, it is both your responsibility and the jungler's responsibility to know when to go for Herald. Mostly it's going to be your responsibility, and it's also your responsibility to get to the point where you can solo kill it like this so you can help apply pressure. This is one of the ways the top lane wins the game. One of the few ways the top lane wins the game. So here, grab Herald, going to grab this plant to get some mana and health back, and walk back mid and continue farming. Before I do that, I'm gonna get the crab, actually, though. Again, because I said, you know, like before, if you can get the crab, just get the crab. Most of the time, it's more about preventing the enemy jungler from getting it, as opposed to you actually having it. But again, if you have it, and they don't have it, which is important. So yeah, I lose a cannon and some CS for it, but whatever. I see Ezreal is on his way mid. So I go ahead and pop the Herald down. We're gonna go ahead and go for this tier 1 tower. Alright, very good. Get the charge on tier 2. Now I want to look to reset if possible. I see that there's a big wave bottom, so I have 2 choices here. I can run for the bottom wave and just grab it right now, or I can recall. Decide to recall because I have a big component buy in the Riftmaker. Go ahead and buy Leeching Leer here, which gives me a little bit more Omnivamp. Ezreal being a little bit aggressive here. unfortunately gets hit by everything. I think he got stunned into the, or like caught in the wall there. I'm not sure how that happened. It looked like a bit of a bug because he couldn't really move after he got caught like in the wall. But it is what it is. Elise is gonna try an FF. We just ignore it. This game is completely winnable. We are ahead and I am fed, so. Here is where this becomes more relevant, by the way, the information in the video. We have to know when to push and when to group. Right, looking at the map state, their team just sort of dipped off of mid and went towards the river. They want to set up for dragon, so I have two choices here. I can walk up river right now, or I can kill this wave and then walk up. Well, I look over and they haven't started dragon yet, so we're going to now push the wave. That puts a little bit of pressure on the map, a little bit that they have to eventually respond to. I see that the Anivia uses her Q there. The Q is her main peeling tool to get away from me, so there's Tristana ult, there's Anivia wall, there's a Q again, she flashed away. Flinger, doesn't really matter, we just kill her, run her down. Shield died of poison, so I just walk away from it. Now, I put the Delby down there to cut off the escape path for Irelia. Then we just run down their whole team. Actually, yeah, so I want to tank this tower to see if Fizz can get Pentakill. He actually cannot because Evelyn decided to be sort of a douche or whatever, no problem. Alright, fling the red, kill it. With the Omni Vamp that I have, I'm able to do this without dying, which is really helpful. Just tapping Q, not leaving it on if possible. I see Evelyn here, in a little bit of danger, so I fling her away. I didn't think I would die here, to be honest, but I'm not sure if the Evelyn's Proto Belt procs her taunt. I don't know if it does, or her charm or whatever. So here, I have two choices. I can recall her, I can go for the crab. Seeing my Elise is in the base by herself, I'm gonna go for the crab. Which is unfortunate because I have basically 0 mana, but I gotta do what I gotta do, right? Ends up working out a little bit because this plant spawns, they can grab it and fling. Kill a little bit faster. Now again, I see Irelia pushing bottom, so my plan currently, you always want to think about what your first move is after your recall. My first move is going to go bottom because I see Irelia pushing bottom. Always, always, always be thinking about what you want to do after your recall. That's very, very important. Because you want to spend as little time in the fountain as possible. You're walking towards bottom, but while I'm walking towards bottom, I see that my team is grouping top. So, sort of. 3v3, maybe. And they're fighting, right? So I want to see if I'm gonna want to keep my eyes up here and see if I need to go and use my teleport. Now I see Anivia walking up there. I see Irelia in the fight. I have two choices. I can keep pushing, or I can group and rotate, or sorry, teleport and rotate. I see that Irelia is sort of winning the fight versus the Karma, so I teleport in. Use the ult, use the Predator runner down. I want to try and run down the Anivia as well because I saw a Predator. It didn't actually proc on the Irelia. But she backs off with the Yuumi, so no big deal. Just gonna go ahead and try and finish the Riftmaker gold. My other choice there would have been to like just push bottom to the tower, but the issue with that is like there's always a chance that Anivia and Irelia could have turned the fight and killed my team, so it's just less risky. It's less individually rewarding for me to make that play, but it's also less like probably the better play for the sake of winning the game. Here, watching the map, trying to plan my next movement. See Ezreal going top, I see Fizz going mid. Or Ezreal's not going top, he's going towards red buff, so. Top is being pushed by Anivia right now, and then I click towards top. Because Ezreal will go towards mid where his support is, so I'm gonna go and farm top. As I'm walking top and looking at my ability bar, I'm seeing that Predator is up in 10 seconds. Then Anivia is definitely behind compared to me, so. Running that small calculation in my head. Pop Predator here, going on towards the Anivia. Grab the fling, don't even need an ultimate. She just dies. Karma being a bro and letting me have the kills, getting me nice and juicy. Go and farm the next wave. Team is posturing for Baron buff here. So shoving this wave, then I'm gonna go and try and zone the Evelyn off. Looking for Eve, looking for Eve. Not really seeing her, not sure where she is. Oh, there she is. Unfortunately, she killed my team, but she walks in my poison, so We get her. Well, she didn't kill my team. She killed Karma, and she stole Baron, but whatever, it happens. That is sort of my mistake. I greeted for a creep wave. So right there, the proper play would have been to actually leave the wave and just walk to my team, because there's a possibility that I can keep Evelynn further away if I just like stand outside of the pit. But I mean, at the same time, it is just a bit of a misplay by my team as well. I can't account for every possible scenario that my team's gonna do, but it is what it is, right? Here, again, I see bot lane pushing as I'm recalling, so my first thought after I recall is to just run bot lane, grab the wave, get nice and juicy. I also look at Irelia, who is currently pushing top, which means there's a chance I might have to actually go top. But the dragon's spawning in 14, so I really don't want to do that if I can avoid it. Because when we're ahead, we want to farm those dragons as much as possible. Now, an issue here is that Irelia and Anivia, I can't say names, sorry. Irelia and Anivia are actually pushing top with Baron buff that they got from the Evelynn steal. So I have a few choices here. I can recall immediately and go top, or I look at Baron and see them, or not Baron, Dragon, and see that my team is fighting this Evelynn. So I walk over there, they actually get the fight, they win it. Now I'm gonna look towards top here. My Predator is down, unfortunately, and then I think Ezreal goes into fight. Oh, if he hit that Q, she is dead, unfortunately. But yeah, I see top was being pushed the whole time, so now I'm gonna recall and help deal with top lane. I need Karma's help here, though, because I cannot do this by myself. Probably if it was only Nivea, I could. Here, just pop the ultimate and run right through this, because Nivea is trying to, like, stall, I guess. I don't know exactly what she's doing. But, Flinger, then grab the egg kill. Very nice, got her. Now we just continue on. Looking at the map here, I have two choices. I can push another wave, or I can run mid and group, or I can recall. Sorry, three choices. The reason why I would recall here is to sell my potion and buy a Kindle gem. Now, I have to kind of do deductive reasoning here. So, I don't really see anybody. So there's a low possibility that my team's going to fight. The Evelynn's doing a classic Evelynn play, trying to catch someone in mid lane. And I see, now I see Irelia pushing bottom. So I could have rotated mid where my team was not, so it wouldn't have made sense for me to do that. I could have recalled and gone bottom, which is what I'm going to do. Or just go mid because I see Fizz going bottom. I don't really have a reason to go top here because I don't think the Tristana is going to overextend and push one more wave. But, like, you know, then again, you never know, right? The reason why I'm walking top here, though, is because I have teleport. Teleport means that even though I'm top lane, I can group up with my team. If I did not have teleport, I would not make this decision. If I did not have teleport, my instinct would just be to go mid and be with my teammates. But because I have teleport, I'm going to go ahead and go top and try and, like, at least pressure this a little bit. And then walk towards my team. I think. We'll see. Okay, so we're relying on the teleport here. There it is. I see them overextending mid to look for the wave. Try and push. Pop everything as they come out of it. Get ulted away by the Trist. Couldn't catch his Trist. Go ahead and go back and peel the Irelia. That's super important. Make sure that she doesn't kill my backline. After that, I'm going to run up here, help my Fizz out. Got the Anivia. But instantly blown up by the enemy team's damage, sadly. Couldn't really help it. Buy my next item. Your thinking sort of changes, by the way, based on whether or not you have teleport. So right there, if you have teleport, you're more able to be deeper in a side lane than you normally would, right? Because generally what you want to do, like I said before, the pattern becomes push, group, leave. Push, group, leave. The point at which you group is usually after you push the wave to the middle of the river. Or even slightly past it, but as Singed, you really, really never want to push the wave all the way to tier 2 if you can avoid it. Because one, that's going to bounce the wave further back towards you faster, it'll bounce off the tower, and you just don't really have the capability to split push a tower by yourself unless you have Death Cap. You don't have enough AP, you don't have enough attack speed on Singed. And your kit's not really built for, like, split pushing, it's built more for, like, farming the side and then grouping, right? He's more of like he's more of a team fighter and not like a split pusher, right? Does that make sense? So team is getting some kills here, doing well. Nivea dies over the wall. I pop the ult just to see if I can kill somebody. The Tristana is up here. My Fizz goes for it. He is unable to catch her, so I just finished the tower here. I'll have ultimate running. Here comes Trist again. I think Fizz just kills her, and then I actually got a really good grounding on the Evelynn here, and she dies, then we just finish the kill. But yeah, like I was saying before, you really don't want to push the wave past the river, because it's actually detrimental to the amount of time that you can afford to spend with your team. You want to maximize your grouping, and you want to minimize your splitting. But, like, you still have to go to the side lane because you're the top laner, right? And you're the one who's, like, hard to kill by himself. If Ezreal goes to side lane, Evelynn zaps him every time, right? If Fizz goes to side lane, you know, Fizz probably should, but if the Irelia rotates into him instead of the Anivia, he might get popped, right? So we just don't know. As Singed as a top laner, it's generally better for you to be in the side lane than somebody else because you're harder to kill. You're a harder target for them to deal with, which means that there's farm in the side lane that you can get more safely than everybody else, which puts pressure on the map. So what you're doing when you push the wave past the river going into like the mid-late game is you're just creating a situation where you have to like group less because the wave's going to bounce back and then push into you, so you have to like, oh, I gotta go deal with the wave again, I gotta go deal with the wave again. When realistically what you want to do is just be like grouping as much as possible. Here, team starts off with a few kills, Yuumi gets grounded, falling into my team, then we just run them all down, no big deal. Gonna scramble the egg real fast, kill it. See Evelynn over there trying to recall, my Elise is gonna go bother her, and then we just go for the end here. But yeah, that's sort of like the quick and dirty of it. Like, you want to really just not over push, and then you want to look to group, and then when the enemy pushes the wave back out, then you push it back to river, then you go back and group with your team, then you rinse and repeat, and you're looking for these fights, these team fights, these grouped fights that you can win, because Singed is generally a superior team fighter to most other top lane champions. Team fighting is where Singed wins games. You do not win the game by split pushing. There is, for some reason, some sort of like weird narrative where people think that Singed is a split pushing champion. He is not. Trust me, he's not. I've been playing this character for 8 years, and you don't split push. You used to be able to sort of like switch into being a split pusher when you had the opportunity to build Zz'Rot. We don't have that anymore. And even then, even when we had Zz'Rot, and to an extent Banner of Command, you still didn't really want to split that much, because you're going to win games through proper team fighting and grouping. You're not going to win games by, oh, I backdoored their tier 2 tower. Like, it's not going to happen. So you want to push, you want to group, you want to leave. You generally, as a general rule, sometimes there are exceptions, I can go over those in a future video, but generally you're pushing to the river, then you're grouping with your team, and then you're going to leave and repeat when the wave gets pushed back to you. It's very useful if you want to carry a sweeper, because then on your way to your team or on the way back from your team to the side lane, you can sweep for wards, which can help, you know, increase the deadliness of your being in Fog of War, right? So just certain things to think about. I hope that was like sort of eye-opening. It was sort of a hectic game as well, which I know doesn't help that much, but I mean, these are the questions that people ask me all the time in comments, like Minish Cap, how do I play? You know, how do I rotate? How do I team fight? What do I do? My team gets caught. I'm not there. I don't have teleport. What do I do? The answer is you're splitting too much, usually. And you shouldn't be splitting that much. You still have to split, right? Up to a point. You don't want to oversplit, because you're not really going to win the 1v1 in the side lane, usually versus most late game duelists, unless you're ahead. But you can't count on that, right? You can't count on being ahead. That's not a reliable way to win a game. The things you can only rely on are yourself, right? Your laning, your rotations, your team fighting, things like that. You can't rely on yourself going 10-0 in lane every game. It's just not, it's not realistic. No one can do that every game, right? So you have to rely on other things, your fundamental skills, especially as Singed, whenever you're like doing rotations, you know, doing things like that in order to group and win, as opposed to actually like try and go massively ahead in lane, and then, you know, then you can't, and then you lose, right? So hopefully it was a little bit helpful, and let me know what you guys thought about this, and if you have any questions, I can make more videos trying to answer like some, we could like most common questions answered, you know, video series or something like that. See if you guys enjoyed. So all right guys, have a good one.